right? Your consumer burden will be lesser. We'll move on to inelastic demand. For inelastic demand, how you need to draw? First of all, you have to draw. It looks like I. The demand curve must look like I. So let me show you how to draw properly. How to draw what? You see though? Draw what? I also don't know. Draw what? Inelastic demand tax burden. See properly. Right? As usual, draw your market first. But before you draw a market, make sure you know your demand curve must be inelastic. How to know it's inelastic? You must make it look like I. Right? Imagine it's I. Imagine it's italic I. Okay, this is your demand curve. Make sense? Make sense? After that, same thing. Draw the supply curve. Supply curve, you can draw any slope you like. Right? Like that. Supply curve. Let's see. Test again. 智慧. Where should I draw my dotted line? Vertical first. Okay. So, you're right. You draw vertical like that. Oh, clap. Clap for her. Since you're one clap. Right? You need some encouragement. Right? Draw vertical, then draw two horizontal. Okay? First one is the new equilibrium. Second one is the one that touching the old supply curve. Like that. Make sense? After that, you have to draw another horizontal curve from your old equilibrium. What color use? From old equilibrium, use this. Like that. Make sense? Dotted line. Then label the up one, the above one as consumer burden. Shade this area, the green color as in consumer burden. Sorry of my speed of writing. Last time I used to write CB. Then they say I scroll root words. So now I cannot write CB anymore. CB means what? I also don't know. That's the problem. CB. What's CB? Huh?
Something that starts with G.
I don't know. The student suddenly when I write CB there, they will laugh. I don't know what happened. So now I have to write the entire word. Wasting my time, decreasing my efficiency. So this is producer burden. All right. Okay, please draw this in your second column. Don't draw wrongly because there are many boxes. Make sure you draw in the correct boxes. Page 89. Draw in page 89. Drop and do again. Drop. Huh? What's the product name? What demand curve is inelastic? Product. Rice again. Okay, rice. Huh? Rice. Rice. Right, rice. Oh, stop. I don't know. I don't you want to pick stop. Otherwise, go ahead. When you draw, you must notice your consumer burden will be greater than producer burden. Right? If you found that they are almost the same, please draw again. Consumer burden for demand in elastic curve will be greater than producer burden. This one in this chapter, I don't really care about P and QE. I care more on whether the label producer. So you just need to label. But PQ must still be there. PQ, ESS1 must still be there. Consumer burden and producer burden. Yes.
What's PQ?
P is the price of.
Or you mean PEQ?
Yeah, I want the P, I want the Q. P, that's one. Consumer burden and producer burden. It must be very clear cut, huh? Right, clear cut as in what? I don't need to use a ruler and go and measure which area is bigger for you. You know what I mean? During a test, I will see exactly this one is bigger than this one. Very clearly distinguished. Makes sense. If you want me to measure for you, oh, that's cost me another Bitcoin. Okay, please give me a 1 Bitcoin, then I'll measure for you during a test. Right? If the area is like that, right? The area is like that. Like this one, the first one I drew. Like that, right? I will give you wrong, because both area looks the same. Make sense? Make sense? Okay, why? This time, why when the demand curve is inelastic, consumer have to bear more burden? Leak Joe. More demand? No. I'm not talking about demand more or demand less. Now we are talking about elasticity of demand.
Because people who the responsiveness is low, they have to buy the goods or produce, in this case it's rice, regardless of the price. So,
yes.
So the consumer burden would be higher as they still need to pay, and the producer can
pass the tax
to
the customers. Later you get what he said. Okay, repeat what he said one more time and see whether you get or not.
But then when the demand is inelastic, consumer will be less sensitive to the price. So more people will want to buy the product.
No. Don't say more people want to buy. Y'all make inverse, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I say what? When you want to do explanation, link it to a reason. Both of you never link it to a reason. What's the reason for rice? Because rice is a necessity. First thing. Rice is one of the factors that affect PED. Or rice don't have many substitutes. Not don't have any, don't have many substitutes. Right? You either eat rice or you don't eat rice. You eat bread, the substitute of rice is what? Bread, maybe? Depends. Some people, when they eat bread, they don't feel like eating anything. They still feel like stomach is empty. Some Asian, they have to eat rice. So it becomes a very necessity. You know what I mean? Depends. But has less substitutes or it's a necessity. First thing, link it to a determinant. Once you link it to a determinant like a necessity, I don't know why today keep us small like that. What happened?
I eat meat, right? And then blow the gas.
Low gas?
Eat gas.
Eat meat, low gas?
Then I don't open.
Huh? Eat the gas? What?
I eat the meat, right? And then you blow the breath, right? Into my eye, not blood.
Oh.
Whatever it may be.
Then you laugh because your eyes are. Alright, okay. Interesting. Okay, anyway, wait, right? Okay. Because it's a necessity, right? Producer will know their products are necessity. So what they do? When the government charge the tax, they pass most of the tax to the consumer. Because regardless of the price increase, the consumer will still have to buy rice.
What you? I dare you not to buy.
You dare me not to buy for what?
I dare you not to buy rice.
No, me.
No, the producer.
Or producer. Oh yeah. Producer will say, yeah, don't buy. We don't eat rice, Yeah. I thought you dare me for what? Huh? Dare me for what? It's okay. I eat quena one. I eat bird food one. I don't eat rice. I eat chia seeds. I eat quena. I eat brown rice.
Ask you?
Chia seeds. Okay, anyway, this is how you need to explain. Link it to a determinant first. Make sense? Next one. Next one is elastic supply. Now we focus on supply determinants, not the supply PES determinants. What? You talk to me better lah. Hey, Jin Sean, you don't talk so much, Jim Jones. Right? Okay. Now it's elastic supply. Tax burden, huh? Yes, what you want to ask? Anyone want to ask me something? No? Right? If I'm talking about elastic supply, if the question asks about elastic supply, take note, you have to draw supply curve first. Otherwise, you might draw wrongly. So draw two supply curve. Both parallel. Supply must look like E. Right? Supply must look like E. Okay. Then draw your demand curve. Demand curve, you can draw any shape you like, as long as it's downward sloping. Like that. Okay. After that, where should I draw my dotted line? Junction. Oh, yes, junction. Where should I draw my dotted line? There. Where? Equilibrium point. Which equilibrium? O or new? New. New, you say one, right? Why no one say Blackpink one, Very weird. Okay. Huh? Blackpink is not your idea. That's my wife's. Mix up again, okay? Last time got students suggesting, hey, why don't you draw red velvet? I was thinking how to differentiate between red and velvet. Don't know how to differentiate, so better draw Blackpink easier. Right, Blackpink, new equilibrium, draw vertical line, one vertical line, two horizontal line, one from here, another one from here. After that, draw another horizontal line from the O equilibrium, right? Then you label. The top one is the consumer burden. Actually, I always very tempted to write CB1. Wouldn't you agree writing CB is more efficient than write entire consumer burden? Cannot. Hey! What the? I beg your pardon? Then this one is producer burden, right? Please draw this in the next column. Don't draw wrongly. Draw in the top column. Number 3, page 19, number 3. Right? Make sure consumer burden is greater than producer burden. I want to see the area is bigger. Right? If your consumer burden and producer burden is not distinguished, it means that I cannot spell. Yes. I can draw that increase. That's that I will know. We're not focus on that. I usually might not know. Check it. Okay. Cannot. Elastic supply. Not elastic enough. The supply curve be more horizontal a bit easier for you to see. Right? Done. That's one you can roll. There we go. That's one you rough this. That's why it's not like that. So what's the product? What's the product name? Yes. What's the product name? For elastic supply, what's the product name? Okay, now right now. Boring. Blackpink still boring. What color is elastic supply? Why? Oh, you have to give me one determinant first. Determinants. Wait, not you, Let's see who, Isabel. Long hair Isabel. Because I had another class short hair Isabel. Isabel. Miss Wanda asked me, hey, you teach Isabel. Then she said, the long hair and the short hair, which one you teach? I think you are the long hair one. Yes. Why car? And why consumer burden greater than producer burden? Why? Long hair, never carry my laptop. Cannot see. Yeah.
Can see.
Then why you until now haven't finished your drawing? Hmm? Why we choose car? What's the determinants for car? PES. Huh? Substitutes is PD. Your entire essay will be wrong. You write substitutes. Huh? We are talking about PES, huh? Resources availability. Technology advancement, that one is supply determinants, that one is not PES. It can be, yes, resources availability can be. Cost of production is supply factor, not PES factor. Capacity to produce. What else? Easiest one is what? Non-perishable for car, right? Because car you can use for 5 years, 7 years, 3 years. It's not easy to perish, right? Because it's not easy to perish, their supply curve will tend to be elastic, right? The supply curve will tend to be elastic. Makes sense? Or you can use resources availability, right? Because it's very easy to find a method to produce car, right? So the supplies will be more sensitive. What this means? The suppliers can pass more tax to the consumers, right? Even the government charge the tax because they are not afraid that you don't buy the car. The car can be stored for a long time. I just need to store my car in the warehouse or in a second-hand car shop, right, for a long time, right? And it will not spoil, you know what I mean? So I'm not afraid to pass all my tax, most of my tax to the consumers. This is how you should explain. Does that make sense to all of you? No. Okay. Why am I worried in the first place if I pass the tax to you? If I pass tax to you, right, the only thing I worry is you don't want to buy. If I pass the tax, you don't want to buy. This is my biggest worry. But for my product, I'm not worried about you don't buy because my car will not spoil. I'm using perishability as one of my factors, right? If my car can store for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, even I don't sell the car, I already still have the car. Anyone can buy after that. Those who like the car will still buy. Make sense? But if later on we talk about the inelastic one, for non-perishable, for perishable, it's like vegetables. I'm worried that you don't buy, so I have to absorb all my tax later. You know what I mean? If I absorb all my tax now, you will buy the veggie, then my veggie, I don't need to throw away my veggie. That's why I'm very not sensitive to the price. Whatever price you give me, I will sell. That's the perishable. For non-perishable, I'm not worried. Make sense? Make sense? Does that answer your question? Not you. Answer your question, yeah. Is inelastic supply tax burden? Inelastic supply tax burden, tax burden. So for inelastic supply tax burden, same thing. You have to draw the supply curve first, but make sure it's italic I. It looks like italic I, all right? Draw it looks like italic I. Like that. Then simply draw one demand curve. Oops, my demand curve is too. Okay. Draw like that. Then draw your dotted line. Where should I draw my dotted line? Keegan? Unit. New equilibrium. Okay, yeah, you're right. Ladies and gentlemen, this one, you have to take note. When you draw your supply curve too inelastic, right? There's one issue that your seniors always do wrongly, right? When I draw the vertical one, right? See. Look at this. Look at the projector. Smartboard right now. When I draw my dotted line, sometimes when I draw my supply curve too inelastic, I will not touch my supply curve. Do you see that? So some students draw until the axis. Then this is wrong. Make sense? Yes, you need to touch the supply curve, not the axis. You never touch the axis for dotted line, except for your P and QE, right? So what you need to do, you have to extend your supply curves, something like that. Extend your supply curve, O supply curve, then only you continue to draw your dotted line. So a lot of students, they draw wrongly in this area, right? Yes. Help from what? So it's inelastic already. I want italic inelastic. Yeah, okay. Good for you. At least you know what I mean. Right? Next one, horizontal dotted line like that. From the O supply curve one, another horizontal dotted line, and the equilibrium is like that, right? O equilibrium like that. Consumer burden is on top, and the producer burden is below. Kindly take note that producer burden will be greater than consumer burden this time. All right. Draw on page. What page? Please draw on page 90. Draw properly. Okay. What's the product name? I think the product name. What's the product name? Baby. Tobacco is not elastic. Tobacco is so. How long can tobacco? How much is it? Right? Alright. So what product name you should put? Baby. Baby. What is it, baby? Baby is perishable. This is perishable and take a long time to produce. Long time to produce, baby. Depends on what animals baby are talking about. Human baby. What? Not very happy are you? Huh? Because why? You're making baby. Who's the mother? Huh? Who's the mother? How I know? You're him. You. You. Right? I'm not surprised nowadays, right? Huh? Okay, so in elastic supply, you can put some fresh fruits or vegetable name, right? Like lettuce, something like that. Okay, now why? Why supply is inelastic? I already explained a little bit just now. I would like to hear your explanation. Pinit. Oops. Why? Okay, which means
They are worried that the consumers will not buy their letters, so they will carry more burden during a tax review.
You understand or not, ladies and gentlemen? Understand or not? Understand what I said or not? Do I need to repeat? No, yes, okay. Because lettuce is perishable. If lettuce is perishable, the producers want to sell it as soon as possible, right? And they know that because their lettuce are perishable, they are not sensitive to the price. They will sell whatever price they have to sell. You know what I mean? They have to sell it at whatever price they have to sell. Even they offer very low price, so they are not sensitive to the price changes. Make sense? Because of that, they don't dare to pass too much tax to the consumers, right? They don't dare to pass too much tax to the consumers. Because if they pass too much tax to the consumers, they will have a lot of lettuce in their warehouse that cannot sell. Then in the end, they have to throw it away. So if they don't want to throw it away, they have to absorb most of the tax. Make sense? And they only pass a little bit to the consumers if the government charge them a tax. Does it make sense to all of you? Right? Like what I said, I only use perishable in perishable, but you can use other factors as well. Like Ian like to use shorter time and longer time to produce. I don't know, depends on what type of animals baby he's producing, right? Yeah. Yeah. Human babies is considered animal, ma. Human are animals, right? Aliens are. Humans are aliens, yeah. True. Right. That's why it makes me very difficult because I'm teaching so many aliens.
You are alien.
Huh? Any questions for the explanation? No? Okay, let's finish subsidies then. All right. Subsidies. Last part. Pretty simple. The last part is subsidies. This is also inside your test next week, right? I can come up with either tax or subsidies or pricing or price floor. For essay, I will explain it on Thursday. So subsidies, same thing. They want to use subsidies to influence the production and price. Is another method to influence the quantity. Government will influence the quantity here using tax and subsidies. So this is another method to influence the quantity, right? It is used to do what? Encourage production of goods and services that's not provided in the free market, like traffic lights, decrease the price of necessities, encourage the consumption of merit goods, right? What is what government use? Other than that, they want to use subsidies to achieve equitable distribution of income. This one is liar. I would say it's nonsense. They want to use this to increase producers' income because some farmers, they are very poor, so they give them some subsidies. This one is for macro, lower the price of exports and compete with cheap imports. This one we will not talk a lot. That one's macro. So same thing. Subsidies, this one subsidies in the foundation is only for supply. Only shift the supply curve, don't shift the demand curve. All right, right down. So what's the subsidies? When there's a subsidies will shift the supply to the right. And the subsidies is the vertical distance between two supply curves. Vertical distance between two supply curves. Please draw this in your page. 91. Draw this in page 91. Yes, because the supply is shifted to the right, the incidence of subsidies will be different from incidence of tax. Right? Can see or not? Cannot see. Let me zoom in a little bit. 11 a.m. I will see you in Somewhere Foundation program meeting room. For those who come for 11 a.m. session. Okay, done. Last part. Obviously, I will not test you this type of diagram. This is too simple. All right. The one that I'm going to test you is incidence of subsidies, like that. Incidence of subsidies. Take note. How to draw this? It is opposite of the tax burden. Take note, take note, take note. Pay attention. Right, this is for incidence of subsidies. Right? Okay, for subsidies incidence, the burden is totally different from the tax burden. Take note. A lot of students draw the same burden, like tax burden. So this is not correct. Where should I draw my dotted line this time? What do you think? Yichang? Yichang? What do you think? Where should I draw my dotted line? S1 and demand. This time, where's the equilibrium point? The new equilibrium is on the right hand side. It's black pink. On the black pink there. Make sense? So instead of drawing the dotted line down, this time you have to draw your dotted line up. Take note. Can you see the difference? Draw the dotted line up. All right. First thing you need to draw up, not down. Draw down, you will draw tax burden. First thing. Second thing, draw the two horizontal line. This one's still okay. The third thing, draw the horizontal line, right? When you want to draw another horizontal line from the original equilibrium, take note. Pay attention on the board right now. Right? When I want to draw horizontal dotted line, pay attention. See properly. Look at the screen. Azim, look at the board. I have to draw dotted line from the left until the right. After the equilibrium point, I still have to continue to draw. Make sense? Make sense or not? This is for subsidies. For incidence of subsidies, you have to draw dotted line left and right to touch the area there. Okay. Last point to take note. Consumer benefit, not burden. Consumer benefit will be in where? This edge here now touch the demand curve on the bottom. This area touch the demand curve on the bottom. So this is the consumer benefit, not consumer burden. The one above is producer benefit. Right? Right, please draw this before we continue some explanation. This one is the last one. Last box. What? Cannot read it.
Wrong box again.
Oh, you know, pay attention to my page number and instruction. Draw it in page 92. this time. Hey, I heard the limit of the F letter already. Enough. Instruction not clear, man.
When the Oscar.
Postcards are for chapter 2 or chapter 3? Chapter 3 will start today. Postcards chapter 2, chapter 3. Chapter 2, I said in week 9, right? You look at the assessment details in front, page 7 of Roman numbers. I put up week 9. This page 7. Page 9. Page 7. Then. Page 9. Week 9. Can solve. Week 9. Post chapter 2, can. Post chapter 3, maybe I give you one more week. Week 10. Are you done? Let me start some explanation. Okay, this time, where is the subsidies? Xingxuan? Xingxuan. Who is Xingxuan? Xingxuan. Okay, Xingxuan. Where is the subsidies? Looking at this, following what I just said. I turn this to here. Yes. But this one is facing here. I thought it should be facing here. What I'm not using. Don't know which student. Which student do that? Yes. Yes. How much is the subsidies? How much? Why you know? You don't know what's up. Yes, how much is the subsidies, ladies and gentlemen?
50 cents.
50 cents. How to find 50 cents? Same thing. 430 minus 380 is still the vertical distance between two supply curves, right? It's not 30 cents, but it's 50 cents. Why? Because the vertical distance is until the supply curve, not until the equilibrium. Makes sense? First thing. Second thing. Then why, if the government give 50 cents subsidies, the PE, the new PE, only drop by 20 cents? The old PE is 4 ringgit. The new PE is 3 ringgit 80 cents. Why only drop by 20 cents? Why? Chelsea. Why? Cover what? Not cover producers, but producers, they are very sneaky. Right? You know what I mean? You ask the parents, then you know already. If your parents are doing business. Right? If the government give them subsidies, they will not pass all the subsidies to the consumers. They will take partial of the subsidies and give themselves. Make sense? They'll accept partial of the subsidies and give it to themselves. Right? All right. So because of that, like in this case, the producers actually take the 30 cents of the subsidies and only pass the 20 cents to the consumers. Makes sense? So this is known as the incidence of subsidies. Right? Incidence of subsidies. But there are always inefficiency. First, inefficiency is very hard to decide who get more subsidies. It's not easy to monitor, right? For this type of case, I pass the producers, then producers pass the consumers. How I know producers will take or not? Most of the producers will take, but very hard to monitor, right? Even I give to the rice suppliers, I cannot control who take more. The rich or the poor will buy more rice. For example, if I give subsidies to the rice, you think the rich will buy more rice or the poor will buy more rice? The rich eat more or the poor eat more? Still the rich eat more, right? So I cannot monitor, right? Because of that, it will also lead to inefficiencies because they know they're protected, and it will lead to opportunity cost issues. Like if I give subsidies to you, it means that I cannot use the money to do other things like building roads and so on, right? So this is the incidence of subsidies, and that's the end of chapter 3. Incidence of subsidies, we will not test you on elasticity, but PED we will test on elasticity together. Make sense? Make sense? As long as you know how to draw incidence of subsidy, then should be enough. Your homework for today, well, finally we can end earlier because we didn't do the summary, is it? Homework today, I use gold color. Gold color to represent. Azim, pay attention. Homework. Right? Last time I asked you to write one possible outcome. Now I want you to add one more outcomes. One more. Add one more in question 1. Now we can do question 2 already. All right? Question 1, question 2, question 3. No, case study 1 should already done. Should be already done. I will discuss next time. Your answer guide is in general channel, past step for chapter 2. Another thing is post chapter 3. I will now officially launch post chapter 3 in front of you. Post chapter 3. So for post chapter 3, take note. Okay, post chapter 3 is now available for you to do anytime until week 10. Post chapter 3. Okay, that's all. Remember you have tests. And see you. Bye. Oops.